When I came home from work on that Tuesday evening, I knew immediately something was wrong. The apartment was dark except for the flickering glow of the TV. Dishes from breakfast were still in the sink, unusual for my roommate Lucas, who was almost obsessively neat. And there was a smell in the air, not bad exactly, but the stale scent of someone who'd been sick. "Lucas," I called out, dropping my keys on the counter. A groan came from his bedroom. I found him buried under every blanket we owned, shivering despite the fact that his face was flushed with fever. His dark hair was plastered to his forehead with sweat, and when he opened his eyes to look at me, they were glassy and unfocused. "Hey Ryan," he croaked, "sorry about the mess, I meant to clean up but I can't really move." I pressed the back of my hand to his forehead. He was burning up. "Jesus Lucas, you're on fire, have you taken anything?" "Tried, threw it up." He closed his eyes. "I think it's the flu, it hit this morning. I called in sick to work but I thought I'd feel better by now." "Have you eaten?" "Can't keep anything down." "Okay, stay here, I'm getting the thermometer." His temperature was 103.2, too high to mess around with. "We should go to urgent care." "No," Lucas said firmly, then immediately undercut his authority by breaking into a coughing fit. "No hospitals, it's just the flu, I just need to ride it out." "Lucas." "Please Ryan, I hate hospitals, can you get me some water and maybe crackers? I should try to eat something." I got the water and crackers along with fever reducers that I made him take with tiny sips. He managed to keep them down, which felt like a victory. "I'm sorry," Lucas said quietly, "I know you hate germs." It was true, I was a bit of a germaphobe, always washing my hands, avoiding people who were sick. But looking at Lucas, vulnerable and miserable, I found I didn't care. "It's fine, just focus on getting better." Over the next few days, I became his caretaker. I brought him soup and crackers and sports drinks. I monitored his fever, which spiked and dropped in waves. I changed his sheets when he sweated through them. I sat with him when the fever dreams got bad and he called out for his mom, who'd passed away 2 years ago. We'd been roommates for 8 months, matched by some algorithm on a roommate finding app. Lucas was 25, a year younger than me, and worked as a middle school teacher. We'd become friends quickly, easy roommates who actually enjoyed each other's company, who watched movies together and ordered takeout and talked about everything and nothing. But I'd also been harboring a secret for months. I was completely in love with him. "I'm gay, Lucas is straight." It was a tale as old as time, and I'd been managing it by maintaining careful boundaries. We were roommates, friends, nothing more. I could handle a crush. Thousands of gay men had handled crushes on straight friends before me. But taking care of him while he was sick was breaking down all my carefully constructed walls. By Thursday, Lucas's fever had finally broken. He was weak and shaky but lucid, and he'd managed to keep down toast and tea. "I need a shower," he announced that evening. "I feel disgusting, I smell disgusting. Ryan, I'm pretty sure I've evolved into a new life form that science hasn't documented yet." "You don't smell that bad." "Liar." He tried to sit up and immediately swayed. "Okay, maybe I need help. I'll help you to the bathroom." "No, I don't think I can stand in the shower alone, I'm too dizzy." He looked embarrassed. Would it be too weird if you helped me, like stayed in there in case I fall?" Every alarm bell in my head went off. This was a terrible idea. Lucas, naked, needing my help, it was a recipe for me to do or say something that would ruin our entire friendship. But he was looking at me with those fever-tired eyes, vulnerable and trusting, and I couldn't say no. "Yeah, of course, let me get some clean clothes ready for you first." I set up the bathroom, laid out towels, got his clothes ready, adjusted the water temperature. Then I helped Lucas stand, his arm around my shoulders, and walked him slowly to the bathroom. "I'll just wait outside," I started. "Ryan, I'm going to fall on my ass the second you leave. Please, just turn around or close your eyes or something." I promised to keep my dignity intact. So I stayed. I stood facing the wall while Lucas undressed, hearing the rustle of fabric, trying desperately to think about anything other than what was happening 3 feet behind me. Then the shower turned on and I heard him step in. "Okay, I'm in," Lucas said. "You can turn around, I'm behind the curtain." I turned, keeping my eyes firmly on the bathroom door, not on the shadow I could see through the shower curtain. This is so weird, Lucas said, but he was laughing a little. I feel like I'm 5 years old again and my mom is making sure I don't drown in the tub. Do you need help washing your hair? I'm not that pathetic, I can shit. The sound of Lucas slipping, catching himself against the shower wall. I'm fine, just dizzy for a second. Lucas, let me help please, before you actually do crack your skull open. A pause, then okay, yeah, that's probably smart. I rolled up my sleeves and reached around the shower curtain, keeping my eyes closed. Where's the shampoo? In my hand here. His hand found mine, pressing the bottle into my palm. His skin was warm from the water and the brief contact sent electricity up my arm. I poured shampoo into my hand and reached up, finding Lucas's hair. It was wet and thick, and when my fingers made contact with his scalp, I heard him make a small sound, not quite a sigh but something close. That okay? I asked. Yeah, that's really nice actually. I worked the shampoo through his hair, trying to be clinical about it, trying not to think about how intimate this was. Lucas leaned into my touch and I could feel the tension leaving his shoulders. You have good hands, he said quietly, gentle. I work with computers all day, gentle touch is kind of necessary. MMM. I rinsed his hair, my fingers carding through the strands, making sure all the soap was gone. The whole time my heart was racing, my mind screaming at me to get control of myself. Body wash is on the shelf, Lucas said. I can probably handle that part. You sure? Yeah, just stay close in case. I heard him washing, heard the water running, heard his occasional sharp intake of breath when the movement made him dizzy. And then, after what felt like an eternity, the water turned off. Can you hand me the towel? I grabbed the towel and held it up, eyes averted until I felt Lucas take it. There was rustling and then, okay, I'm decent, sort of, can you help me to my room? Lucas was wrapped in the towel, his hair dripping. His skin flushed from the hot water. He looked vulnerable and beautiful, and I had to physically force myself to look away. I helped him to his room, got him into clean clothes while maintaining as much of his dignity as possible, and settled him back into bed with fresh sheets I'd put on while he showered. Thank you, Lucas said, his eyes already closing, for everything, for taking care of me. I don't know what I would have done without you. That's what friends are for. Best roommate ever, he murmured, already drifting off. I left his room and went to my own, where I sat on my bed and put my head in my hands. This was getting out of control. I needed to get my feelings in check before I did something stupid. Lucas was much better by Friday. He managed to eat real food, his color was back, and he could walk to the bathroom without assistance. By evening, he was well enough to join me on the couch for the first time in days. I forgot what the living room looks like, he joked, settling in with a blanket. It's like a whole different world out here. How are you feeling? Weak, but human again, thanks to you. He looked at me seriously. Ryan, I mean it, you didn't have to do all that. The soup, the medicine, the shower thing. You could have just left me to fend for myself, but you didn't. Why? Because you needed help and we're friends. Are we just friends? The question hung in the air between us. My heart stopped. What do you mean? Lucas pulled the blanket tighter around himself. I mean, yesterday in the shower when you were washing my hair, Ryan, I've never felt anything like that before. It was just your hands in my hair, something totally innocent, but it felt intimate, more intimate than anything I've experienced with anyone. Lucas, you were sick, vulnerable, it's natural to feel. I'm not talking about gratitude or some fever dream confusion. He turned to face me fully. Ryan, I need to tell you something, and it's going to sound crazy because I've been sick and you've been taking care of me and the timing is terrible, but I can't keep it in anymore. You don't have to. I think I have feelings for you. The world stopped spinning. You think you have feelings for me, I repeated slowly. I know it's weird, I know I'm supposed to be straight, I've always thought I was straight. I've dated women, been attracted to women. But Ryan, when I'm with you, it's different, it's more. And lying in that bed for 4 days, knowing you were taking care of me, feeling your hands in my hair yesterday, it made me realize something I've been ignoring for months. What have you been ignoring? That every time you walk into a room, my day gets better. That I look forward to seeing you more than I look forward to anything else. That when you touch me, even just a casual pat on the shoulder, I feel it for hours afterward. That I'm not attracted to men in general, but I'm very specifically attracted to you. I couldn't breathe. Lucas, you're recovering from a high fever, your judgment might be. My fever broke yesterday, my judgment is fine. He reached out and took my hand. Ryan, I'm scared. I don't know what this means about my sexuality or my identity or anything, but I know that what I feel for you is real. And I hope you might feel something too, because the way you took care of me, the gentleness, the way you looked at me when you thought I wasn't paying attention, that's not how friends look at each other. I'm gay, I said quietly. I came out when I was 17, and yes, I have feelings for you. I've had feelings for you for months, but Lucas, I can't be your experiment. I can't be the guy you figure yourself out with and then decide it was just confusion or curiosity. That would destroy me. Is that what you think this is, an experiment? I don't know what this is. You just told me you've always been straight and now suddenly you have feelings for me after I helped you shower. That's not exactly a solid foundation. Lucas flinched. You're right, this is too fast, too confusing. I should have waited, should have figured myself out before saying anything. I didn't mean. No, you're right to be cautious, you're protecting yourself, I get it. He stood up, the blanket falling from his shoulders. I'm going to bed, I'm still tired, thank you again for taking care of me. He left and I sat there on the couch, my heart breaking, wondering if I'd just made the biggest mistake of my life. We avoided each other all day Saturday. Lucas stayed in his room, I stayed in mine. The apartment that had felt warm and comfortable for months suddenly felt cold and tense. Sunday morning, I woke up early and made coffee. I was sitting at the kitchen table when Lucas emerged from his room, looking tired but determined. Can we talk? He asked. Yeah, of course. He sat down across from me, cradling his own coffee mug like a lifeline. I've been doing a lot of thinking, he started, about what you said, about not wanting to be an experiment, and you're right, I don't have everything figured out. I don't know if I'm bisexual or pansexual or if I'm just Lucas who happens to have fallen for his male roommate, but Ryan, I know this isn't an experiment. I'm not curious, I'm not confused. I'm falling in love with you and that's terrifying because I don't know how to do this, but it's also the most certain I've felt about anything in years. Lucas. Let me finish, please. He took a shaky breath. I've been thinking about when this started, not Friday in the shower, that's just when I couldn't ignore it anymore. But it started months ago. Remember when we stayed up all night assembling that bookshelf from IKEA and got so delirious we couldn't stop laughing? Or when we both reached for the remote at the same time and our hands touched and we both just froze? Or that time we fell asleep on the couch during a movie and I woke up with my head on your shoulder and you were playing with my hair and for a second before I fully woke up I thought, I could stay like this forever. I remembered all of those moments, had replayed them in my mind 100 times. I remembered. I've been having these feelings for months, Ryan, I just didn't know what to call them. Didn't have a framework for understanding that what I was feeling for my male roommate might be romantic. But it is, and I'm not asking you to jump into something with me right now. I know I need to figure myself out, but I'm asking you not to write me off as someone who's just confused or experimenting. What I feel for you is real. I never doubted that your feelings were real, I said quietly. I'm just scared, Lucas, if we try this and it doesn't work out, I lose my roommate and my friend, that's a lot to risk. And if we don't try, we spend the rest of our lives wondering what might have been. That's a lot to live with too. Yeah. He had a point. What do you want? I asked. Right now, what do you actually want? I want to take you on a date, a real date. I want to hold your hand and see if it feels as right as I think it will. I want to kiss you if you'll let me. I want to see where this goes without the weight of expectations or fear. I want to try, Ryan, with you, if you're willing to try with me. I looked at him, really looked at him, at the sincerity in his eyes, the vulnerability in his posture, the hope and fear warring on his face, and I made a decision. Okay. Let's try, let's go on a date, let's see what happens. But Lucas, we need to promise each other something, we communicate. If you're confused or scared or starting to feel like this isn't what you want, you tell me. Immediately, no protecting my feelings, no letting it drag out. Deal? Deal, Lucas smiled and it was like the sun coming out. So, would you like to go to dinner with me tonight? There's that Italian place you mentioned wanting to try. Lucas, you just recovered from the flu. Maybe wait another day or two before venturing out into the world. Then how about I cook dinner here? I make a mean spaghetti carbonara. Well, I make an adequate spaghetti carbonara, okay? I make something that resembles carbonara if you squint. I laughed. That sounds perfect. 3 months later. Lucas did cook that carbonara. It was terrible. He somehow managed to scramble the eggs, but we laughed until we cried and ordered pizza instead. We talked for hours, and at the end of the night he asked if he could kiss me. That first kiss was tentative and sweet, both of us nervous, both of us wanting it to be perfect. It wasn't perfect, our noses bumped and we both laughed, but it was real and it was ours. 3 months later, we're still figuring things out. Lucas came out to his family last month. They were surprised but supportive. He's been exploring what his sexuality means to him, reading books and articles, talking to other people in the LGBTQ community. He's settled on calling himself queer, which he says feels right, an umbrella term that captures the fluidity of his experience. I don't need to have everything figured out, he told me last week. I just need to know that I'm with the right person, and Ryan, you're the right person. We're taking things slow, still roommates but also boyfriends now, still learning each other in new ways, still navigating what it means to be in a relationship when one of us is new to all of this. But here's what I know. Helping Lucas shower that night didn't change everything because of the intimacy or the vulnerability or any of that. It changed everything because it forced both of us to confront feelings we'd been dancing around for months. It gave Lucas permission to question what he'd always assumed about himself. It gave me permission to hope for something I thought was impossible. Sometimes the most profound changes come from the simplest acts of care. Sometimes love grows in the quiet moments of taking care of someone when they need you most. And sometimes your straight roommate turns out not to be so straight after all. Lucas walks into the living room now, carrying 2 mugs of coffee. He hands me one and settles onto the couch beside me, close enough that our thighs touch, and I feel that same electricity I felt the first time our hands touched in the shower. What are you thinking about? He asks. Just how lucky I am. That you helped a sick guy shower and ended up with a boyfriend. That I helped my sick roommate shower and ended up with you. He kisses me, soft and sure, and I taste our future in that kiss, all the moments still to come, all the adventures still to have, all the ways we'll continue to surprise each other. Everything changed that day in the shower. And I wouldn't change a single thing about how we got here. The end. For everyone who's ever taken care of someone and felt something shift, for those who have questioned their sexuality later in life, for anyone who's been brave enough to explore feelings that don't fit the boxes they thought they belonged in, love shows up in unexpected ways. Sometimes it takes being vulnerable and cared for to realize what you really want. Sometimes the person who sees you at your worst becomes the person you want to see you at your best. And sometimes helping someone shower changes absolutely everything. Read Broken.